Hello, you're watching the 1700 with Steven.
And Frazer.
And we have the lovely Jemma Siles for part 2.
Part 2 of the interview. So we're back again. So just want to dive straight into it, Jemma. I guess I've just because I followed Jemma quite a bit, that's sort of how this interview came to be. I noticed from time to time you sort of mention God and just your connection and spirituality. So is there any kind of spirituality that kind of feeds into your music?
Yeah, so I don't try to, obviously, everyone has their own spiritual beliefs, and I respect everyone's beliefs, but I think my religion really helps me in a lot of aspects of life when I go through stuff, and my music's very open and I try not to hide anything with my music, so I guess it does influence it a little bit, but I wouldn't say too much.
Right,
yeah.
Nice.
So what was the moment that made you want to become a musician, and what did it take for you to come to this point at this second right now?
Yeah, so I've always been singing and dancing and everything. Like, I think when I was 8, I did a stage performance of Annie, and I was Annie, and I remember after that I cried afterwards, and I was like, no, I'm never gonna do it like that again. And I think ever since then I was like, I actually want to do that professionally. I was never, before that I always wanted to, but ever since then I was like, I need to be on stage.
Right. So do you prefer studio or stage then?
It's very different. They're two very different things. I wouldn't go one or the other. I think they both go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how would you sort of start writing a new song? This is very interesting, like, because I've heard it in a radio interview before. You kind of do a bit of back and forth with your producers to kind of get the ball rolling. But what's your sort of approach as Jemma Siles?
So before, I would, like a couple years ago, I would literally sit in my room and play piano, or sometimes the piano really annoys me, so I'll just like start off with a key and then I'll just start singing and have it on my voice memo, and then I would either send that through as a click track to a producer, and then they'd obviously send through a demo with production behind it. Recently I've been working together with producers, and I'll go into the studio, either I'll have an idea in mind, but most of the time I won't, and I'll come in and they'll start with the beats, and then I'll just shoot out a song, and they'll be like, did you write that just then? And I'll be like, yeah, is it like not normal?
That's real nice, right?
Yeah.
So you have 2 songs co-written with producer Michael Dello and guitarist of Icehouse, Michael Painter, an absolute Aussie rock legend. What is it like collaborating with a known rock icon with hits that are well known across the world?
Yeah, it's really good. It was really nice, and we sat together and spoke a bit about what sort of songs I wanted to write, and there was obviously 3 of us in the room, and I don't usually collab with people with songwriting, and so I thought I wanted to get to do that, and who better to collab with? So yeah, we ended up writing 2 really, really good songs, and yeah, it's really nice.
Cool.
And where can all the fans watching at the moment find some more Jemma Siles?
Solo stuff, or
whatever you want to tell us.
Well, my original stuff isn't out yet, obviously, but yeah, you can just follow me on at Jemma Siles on Instagram, and that's about it.
Awesome.
I don't really use Facebook much anymore, but
awesome.
yeah.
Nice.
So thank you for coming on today. It was a nice performance. Nice having you here today on the show. It's pretty much an honour.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. And next time you have some news, come back again and we'll chat with you. When the new
I'm
stuff
going to
comes
release
out.
a single, I will be sure to let you know first.
That's it. And you can also catch the Sin socials at Sin1700 on Facebook and Instagram. We're now just going to a little bit of a break, but we'll be back with more. We've got Clip of the Week coming up and some very exciting things in store for you guys. You're on Sin1700 with Frazer
and Steven.